tipping culture?
Tipping. A generous act of courtesy you do when you're more than satisfied with the service you were provided. And you give them a little extra money. Usually you give these to your servers at restaurants, your barber, and strippers, just as a way of telling them you're doing a good job.
I would have never given no barber no tip, bro. What am I giving you a tip for? Doing your job? I guess that should apply the same things to waiter and waitresses. We're the only country that give tips to them niggas because for some reason they're allowed to be underpaid compared to everywhere else. I don't know.
Job. Go get yourself a nice pair of undies. And this overall thing is practiced all around the world. It's not exactly a foreign concept for anybody. Tipping is a normal thing, but no place on earth lets it give out the tip more than the US of A.
Hey, we some tip hander outers.
We go X Games mode with the tipping over here, because we be giving everybody tips.
Yep.
We tip our delivery drivers, taxis, bellhops, housekeeping, house movers, bartenders. If you're an in-person service, then most likely
I never
accept
tip
tips.
no.
Even my homie's last job at the gas station where he just pumped people's gas, he got over $100 in tips in one day.
He's pumping people's gas. Wait, what? Nick, why is he pumping people's gas? I don't. What?
I didn't even know people tip for that. We love to tip everybody except the homeless, but has it gone too far? Let me go off real quick.
Crazy.
But I've been seeing tipping options where I've never seen them before, like counter services, cashiers.
Yeah.
I've never heard of tipping cashiers, but those blue blocks on the iPad beg to differ. One time I went to a concert and I went to the merch booth. I got a hoodie, bro handed me the hoodie, then turned around his iPad for a tip.
And you always have to go through the tip to buy what you want to buy. My nigga, I know y'all getting the extra bread for a little bit of scamming, but bro, come on.
I know these people don't. I got a hoodie, bro handed me the hoodie, then turned around his iPad for a tip. Now I know these people don't get paid too well, but what in that interaction concurred a tip? Did he slip me $100 bill in a hoodie that I didn't see? I don't think so. So nah, I don't think I'm gonna tip. But I would usually see these in local businesses most of the time, so that's all fine and dandy. But I've heard Starbucks is also doing tips. Now, I don't really go to Starbucks
doing tips too.
It's just not for me. I like my coffee a certain way. I like my coffee how I like my men. Long, black, and Vietnamese. And no offense to you Starbucks employees out there, but I'm gonna treat y'all like McDonald's and Burger King. Like, why would I tip the drive-through cashier? That just sounds unnecessary. And as long as those restaurants are not asking for tips, then I'm never gonna tip. Don't get no ideas, please. However, I understand why these workers would want to tip, though. They work low-wage jobs, and sometimes they got families to take care of at home. So a tip or two would make their lives a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But I'm selfish. I'm not trying to tip at Wendy's, bro. But I know that day will eventually come. I can smell it. This is the U.S. We'll somehow...
I don't tip. Like, I tipped on accident before. Because I didn't see the skip button. Like, I was looking for the skip button. I'm like, damn. I have to tip? Like, my food already in my hand. I guess I can leave 15%, but damn, y'all trapped me.
Incorporate tipping
I'm talking trap. We missionary. You got your legs wrapped around me. I'm telling you, I'm about to nut and you gripping tighter. Like, what?
Everything. So the employers can justify why they're paying their employees minimum wage. And whenever someone doesn't tip, they get mad at us instead of the business that's giving them a non-living wage.
Exactly.
That's why tipping is super pushed. So restaurants, for example, can pay their waiters low salaries to encourage them to aim for tips. So the waiters have to be as upstanding, top of their tippy toes, holly jolly of a worker as possible to try to get ends meet. So the customer can walk away feeling happy about their experience, the owner of the restaurant being happy because of the profit, and good look of the business, while the waiters walk away with a $2 tip and food stamps for a salary.
Yeah.
Or at least that's just my theory, my game theory. Now, people that have never had a job might say, ain't that a good thing? It makes the waiters actually try to do their job well. Bro, ain't nobody want to work minimum wage, period, bro, in this economy. Doesn't matter if I'm getting tips. All it takes is one bad day of penny pinching tips to be like, well, Scoob, I guess we have to eat whatever's in the fridge tonight.
Scoob, I gotta eat you tonight. I'm sorry, Scoob, but you're next on the list.
I should know. I used to be a waiter. I was a waiter for weddings and other events in my late senior year, and my wage was decent, $15 an hour, and for a high school student, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Plus, I only worked on the weekends. Man, this job was gonna be a breeze. But that was only because I was a kid. I ain't need that much in the first place. All I thought is, if I can afford food, Sold. But to spoil the fun, most of the time I did not get any tips or very little tips. And 95% of my gigs was at weddings, so the food was already paid for. I was giving these niggas free food and I got nothing. And I was always all nice and shit. I was never mean. I was all like, hello, hot diggity day. What would you lovely people like to have?
I mean, honestly, I probably wouldn't tip a tar monkey. Edit that out.
I thought I was doing a good job. I even shaved off my hair to be more presentable, which is something I still regret to this day. Don't cut the hair you love for no jobs.
Facts.
Unless it look like this. You might get no job with that. I did get tips sometimes. The biggest tip I've ever gotten was $40 from a table of old white women and a gay dude. And from then on, they became my target audience. I'd always pick the table with the gay niggas, because I know they'd give me the biggest tip. And me complaining about small tips might sound like a trivial problem, but I'm talking about like in the grand scheme of things of this kind of job. Like if I was an adult with this job paying bills, taxes, rent, all that, I could not live like this. I know this because I had coworkers in their late 20s, 30s, 40s who said they couldn't take care of themselves with this wage. That's why they sold drugs on the side.
Hey, they just like me though. I used to sell crack on the corner.
That's why we should hold these businesses accountable to have higher wages for their employees so they don't have to rely on tips anymore. We must rise against this corrupt business practice. Who's with me?
I'm with you.
Hey, you're just saying this because you just don't want to pay tips no more. Well, duh. I don't like tipping. Who does? Who wants to pay more of their own money when they don't have to? I'm not a misogynist, a masochist. Wrong word. I am the other one. I'm not saying I don't tip. I do. But mainly because I want to at least try to balance out my good deeds with my bad ones when I'm in the pearly gates. I'm not...
Wait, what's some of your bad deeds? I gotta know. Like, why don't you give us a few examples of what a bad deed you did is? We all know my history of stealing from homeless people, so you know that's no joke. That's no... I mean, that's... Tell me your bad deeds, bro.
I'm trying to go to hell because I didn't tip my IHOP waitress who so happened to be battling cancer and diabetes that one time. I'm trying to get to heaven. But if I gave zero, darns, dangs, or I would almost never tip. I would look at the bill, then pay the bill, then end it there. I would only tip if I received outstanding service because, you know, most services nowadays are just average, you know, regular stuff. Nothing to point.
It is. I'm not gonna lie. Services could be better, but I mean, I think it's because a lot of people like who be waiters and waitresses, they be young and they don't want to be alive. So I think I blame it on depression.
Out, but you still supposed to tip. In a perfect world, I would only tip if the person is enthusiastically nice. Fast service, give me a back massage, and also pay for my food. Then I would tip. I can understand tipping delivery drivers because they also need the money to pay for their gas, but that can go with the higher wage argument that I said earlier. And if they show up mad late, then I don't have to tip them. We should bring back the 30 minutes or less or the food is free rule. I'd start ordering food from Russia on purpose. Save myself a stack. And like I said earlier, I know these people need these tips to survive. I know they have mouths to feed. I know. I feel you. I feel you.
Degenerosity got rich and forgot about the common folk. Degen, you have to think about us common folk, man. We need the tips. Tips is what give us love. Is what give us life, man. Don't forget about us, man.
But in the back of my mind, I know I have mouths to feed too. My own mouth. And tipping is slowly taking that away from me. Now I'm gonna starve. And remember earlier when I said tipping is not a foreign concept? Well, apparently it is to most countries. Every time I look in the comment section for a post regarding tipping, 90% of the comments will be from foreigners saying, well, over here in Timbuktu, Jumanji land, we never even heard a tip.
Exactly.
I didn't even know Jumanji was a real place, but it sounds like heaven if they don't tip. And it makes me think the people of the U.S. here are purposely fucking me with this tipping shit. It's to be...
I'm talking bent over, all form of lubrication at it, bro. They don't care if it's horses. They don't care if it's cows. Like, the U.S. just tries to penetrate you any way possible. It doesn't matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand what we did to them. What As U.S. citizens, what did we do to our government to make us like this? To make them like this, bro? I don't understand.
Expected we tip 20 to 25% of the bill here. You have a better chance pulling a gun on me and robbing me because that's the only way you're gonna get that much money out of me. And I've been seeing news reports about how there's a spread of self-check.
Tipping at self-check? We tipping AIs now? We tipping AI. Soon they're going to be Karens like in SpongeBob and people are going to be tipping Karens.
Checkout machines with tipping options. Who the hell am I tipping? Mr. and Mrs. Walmart themselves? Why they need my money? Why they need a tip? Any self-checkout tipping machine out there could suck the tip of my pee-pee. That's what you could do. And like I said earlier, I do tip my delivery drivers and waiters. I do.
Me too.
But I hate tipping. I bloody hate it. If I could abolish it, I would. I hate it. However,
not gonna lie to you, DJ, you sound like you need a hug. You've been dealing with too many tips. See, I like to average out the amount I tip. You know what I'm saying? I can't do too many tips at one time because then I get exhausted and I start feeling it. You know, so I space out my tips, but that's just me.
I know it's the right thing to do. Or at least I was raised to believe if I don't tip my waiters, I'm a which I don't really believe now, but I begrudgingly admit tipping won't kill me. So I still tip. How much I tip? None of your beeswax. And even though I tip most of the time, I'm not gonna tell y'all you should tip.
I've never talked to DJ in a day in my life, but if I were to guess how much he tips, he probably tips like 30%. Cause he's just a nice, swell, rich guy.
Do whatever you want with the money you've earned. Like I could be spending my money on helping the children in Africa and building houses there. But how else am I supposed to pay for my drip? I need money for my clothes, man. Those kids in Africa, they're not gonna pay for me. But yeah, those are my thoughts on tipping. Employees need better pay, so I can stop paying. And in conclusion,
element of surprise.
I have to admit, chat, I was indeed surprised.
Did you pray today? Did you pray today? Because if you did it, I'ma have to take you down on some gangster shit.
Yeah!